on, everybody? Welcome back today for another video. As you can see, it's completely flooded behind me. Hurricane Ida, I think it was. She definitely did a number. My house didn't get no water or anything like that. It is in my driveway, but the good old trusty WJ right through it, right down my road. Probably like 2 feet of water, but we made it obviously in and out of the driveway. I went around and assessed some of the damage going on, and there's like cars on the side of the road that people just abandon and everything like that. So I just let you guys know that I'm okay. Everybody over here is okay. So but today's video is not on the WJ. I'm sorry, WJ guys, but it's not. Currently we're gonna start tearing into this thing and getting the nose off of it. This is my 98 Mustang Cobra. If you guys haven't seen my last video, I owned this car back in 2012 and I owned it till about 2017. Obviously you could see the guy I sold it to, he wrecked it. It's not too bad, but it's gonna take a lot of work, and I couldn't pass the car up for what I paid for it. I got a really good deal on it, so let me show you guys what's going on. We'll hop right into this video and get the nose torn off this thing. All right guys, so a lot of the damage is right here. This is the fender apron. It does stop before the strut tower. Frame rail looks to be straight. I'll know more when I get a lot of this stuff out of the way and start assessing the actual damage. The car does run perfectly fine. There's no coolant in it, so I can't run it for a long time, but it starts right up. Idles, revs, whatever you want. I just mainly want to get all this stuff out of the way, this fender, everything like that, so we can assess the front suspension. I'm picking a wheel up on Sunday for it. It's just a stock 03 Cobra wheel, so it's not going to match, but that's fine. I just want a rolling car, and I want to get this whole nose torn off. So the crash bar, the grille, the header panel, coolant tank, radiator, I want to get everything out and start assessing what actually needs to be done to pretty much make this go back to that. So let's hop right into it. I'm going to start pulling parts off. I'll show you guys, after I get some stuff off, I'll show you guys what I'm working with, and we'll go from there. All right guys, so it does not look like the frame is bent upward or anything like that. They both look level, which is very, very good. So currently I took off the header panel and I took off the crash bar. We're slowly stripping away here just to really assess these damages and see what exactly happened. But I did have to make a small cut in this side of the crash bar just because I couldn't get to the bolt because it was bent so bad. But little by little, and I'm gonna get to taking the fender off. I want to see what all these wires are gonna go to. I know that this one right here is a ground, but it looks like an aftermarket ground. It looks like I put this for the HID harness, which is what I think, because it has this connector here, which I think used to be there. I think it's just ripped out. So I'm gonna go through this wiring really quick, get all that torn down, see what factory wiring's there, what factory wiring isn't there. I also do know in the fender apron over here, I got some wiring problems too. So I'm gonna get all this, somewhat neat and dealt with, and then I'll let you guys know where I stand. The next clip will probably be the fender off the car, so stay tuned, and I'm gonna get back to work. All right guys, so the nerve-wracking part is done. I have the radiator out, so it looks like what happened, it looks like they came up, they hit the curb with the bottom of the rad support right here, which is obviously going to need to be replaced. That's pretty obvious. The frame rail on the inside, as you can tell, nothing's crinkled. Thank God. It looks the same as the other side. Everything's there. It's not bent. The only thing that's bent is this pocket, but I'm going to bend that back. That shouldn't be an issue. Pair of channel locks and tweak it back to match that side. Should not be a big problem at all. I didn't take the fender off yet. I wanted to get that radiator out just so I can assess the actual frame, the unibody, but everything looks to be good. So I got a pile of parts right here. I got to go through and take all the bolts out that I need and everything like that. The radiator still looks good, but probably going to put a 3-core high performance racing one in. It's pretty common sense. It's going to be a race car, so It's definitely needed upgrade. As you can tell, I didn't know there was coolant in it, so it's draining, and it might be draining into there. Don't tell the EPA. I'll get back to you guys after I get that fender off. Alright guys, so here's what we're looking at. She's fully stripped down. The nose is pretty much torn off, besides obviously taking out the actual sheet metal like the rad support and the fender apron. But it looks like the majority of the hit was right about there, and it crinkled inward. So the frame doesn't appear to be shifted over or anything, as far as I can tell from the other side. The other side does the same like little bend and everything, so that's what it looks like to me. I mean, for the most part, it looks straight. It might be like a little tiny bit tweaked, but if anything, it's gonna be like right about here if it is tweaked, but I feel like this would be raised if it was tweaked. So I don't think we're gonna have an issue with this frame rail. As far as I can tell, nothing looks like it's, you know, out of the ordinary. All this is still intact. It honestly looks like maybe he hit something high. I do know he hit a sign. I'm aware of that, but it's just weird because it's like crushed down here, but it probably forced it up back there maybe. I mean, either way, this whole section, it needs to be sectioned off. So it's not really much I can do about that, but I do have a couple of friends that are willing to help me do this, so it's not terrible. But I do have it up on a jack stand. I'm gonna pull this destroyed wheel off of it, and I'm gonna see what happens with the suspension. I'm gonna try to drop the whole suspension out in one shot. So, you know, take the nut off the strut, and I'm gonna try to just take it all out. I'll be back once I try to get that wheel off. That's what's gonna really be hard because it's caved in on the inside, but I'll show you guys after I get it off. All right guys, so I was able to get the rim off. That's what's left of it. So now I'm gonna continue to strip away here. I need to bring this back to my shop at work. But I'm gonna continue to strip away here, and we're gonna try to get this caliper off. I'm really hoping this caliper is still good. These aren't cheap calipers, and the aftermarket ones will not say Cobra on them. So I'm really hoping that I'm able to salvage this caliper. So more than likely it's gonna need a spindle and a knuckle. I just don't trust it with how fast this car is and everything. I just don't feel comfortable putting that knuckle back on, and obviously we're gonna have to do brakes and everything anyways, and I would rather a new wheel bearing. You know, I'll probably do both sides. I did notice some rust on the shock tower, pretty common for a 94 to 04 Mustang. It is not through, so I'm gonna, you know, sand that down and paint it, everything like that. There's my frame rail. I mean, you guys drop a comment below. Let me know if you think that the frame is bent. I know it's kind of hard to tell from a video and pictures and whatnot, but I don't think the frame is buckled at all. If it's not, great, I got really lucky. If it is, I'm gonna have to tow this thing to a shop after I get some suspension under it, and, you know, just drop it off and tell them, you know, fix that. So we'll see what happens, but let me get this suspension out from under it and assess the actual damage that he did on the suspension of it. Guys, so here's where we stand. I got the coilover out. I got the sway bar link. I had to cut it off. It was so bent I couldn't unbolt it. Right now I'm currently trying to unbolt the frame to sway bar mounts. It's pretty rough. It's gonna need a new sway bar mount for sure. It actually ripped the mount off the frame rail, so that's just something else that I'm gonna have to deal with here, but it's okay. Just stay calm. We're gonna get her done. We're gonna get this thing driving again. I honestly don't care what I have to do. I'm gonna get this thing back on the road for sure. So let me show you guys what's going on now, and, you know, I'm slowly picking at it. I got one more bolt for the control arm, it's really bent, so I'm probably gonna have to cut it, but it is what it is. I'm gonna get it done, and you know, just little by little, and see what happens. You know, I need to get it torn down to know what parts I need to buy. So that's where I'm at now, and I'll be with you guys as soon as I get the control arm off and this sway bar mount. I'm gonna show you guys what everything looks like completely torn apart. I was able to save that caliper, thank God, because I didn't want to buy a caliper. These calipers are really expensive, and like I said in the last clip, you won't be able to get ones that say Cobra. So let me get back to work here, and I'll show you guys shortly where I'm at. All right, so currently the water level has dropped from my previous post. As you can see, there's a car driving. I really hope he goes in the water and gets stuck. That would be hilarious, because I'll tell him $100, I'll pull him out with this beast. But yeah, so if you guys haven't seen the Jeep, here it is. I'm driving it. It's great. I haven't had any issues with it. Everything's good. You know, I've just been enjoying it, and I don't really have much to do on it right this minute, besides some rust repair and stuff, but it's on the back burner right now. I really want to get this thing down on 4 wheels. So as you can see from the previous clip, the whole suspension's out of the thing, whole nose is torn off. It's pretty much ready for my buddy to come by and assess the actual damage of that. As far as the next video that I post, I'm going to be putting a suspension under this thing. I do need a K-member. The back of the K-member's bent. I might be able to bend it back, but it's not going to be a permanent fix. It would just be to get it on 4 wheels, because I really want to take this out into the middle of the road and do a mean ass burnout, just like back in the old days. So that's coming, and once it's moving under its own power, I'm gonna try to get it up in the garage up there and see what happens. You know, still got to get a fender apron, rad support to fix actual damage from the crash, but she's coming along. It was kind of a pain in the ass to take apart, just everything bent and everything, so I had to cut a lot of things off that I would have rather not, but it is what it is. Like I said, she's coming along little by little. It's going to be a long process of this thing, so I promise you guys though, it will be back, and it'll be back better than ever. Hopefully we have a single turbo on it. This car honestly means the world to me. When I owned it, I always regretted getting rid of this thing, and it's back, baby. So hopefully we can get her up and going. Well, actually I shouldn't say hopefully, we're going to get her up and going. I don't care what it takes, it's gonna happen. But that's going to conclude today's video. I just wanted to do a teardown of the sn95 Cobra back here, and show you guys how bad the damage actually is. If any of you are body guys on my channel, please drop a comment. Let me know what you think. You know, let me know if you think it's worth it, like, to fix this. Maybe I can get a donor. It's all up in the air right now. I don't really know exactly what I want to do, but I do have a complete Cobra swap if I do get a donor, so it's not terrible, but I would like to repair what I have. So, you know, see what happens, and like I said, drop a comment, like, subscribe, and please continue to support the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.